All right, I think we may be live.
We will at least talk like we are.
We're going to talk like we are.
It still says no data yet on YouTube.
Okay.
How are we looking on Steam, Adam?
I'm looking at Steam and I'm not seeing a broadcast.
Okay. Seemingly no broadcast so far, Jill.
Oh, we're seeing some comments. I see fear. Oh, are we live on YouTube?
Maybe it says we have 9 people viewing, and it does look like we're live. Testing out this restream, working out technical difficulties.
Yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us. We're going to go live in we're going to start the stream in just a couple minutes.
Yes. Thanks. I may just do that. It's actually the fogging up's not bad because of the little blinders on the bottom. All right, thanks. I don't know if I'd be able to drink that. I'll have a drink here. There we go. Very, very refreshing. Oh, a little orange. With the peel. It's the only way. Adam or Dwayne, are you seeing any activity in the comments? Does it look like our stream's working?
We're definitely getting comments.
Okay.
But people are saying the quality is a bit bad on stream for the game.
Okay, so they are seeing some game content.
What's weird is that I'm not seeing it on my end. So I'm not sure where they're seeing it. And still not showing up on Steam for me either.
So we are live on YouTube. So thank you everybody for coming on.
Still not showing up on Steam for me either.
And we are live.
Uh-oh, that's echo.
Yeah, let me mute that real quick. There you go. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a restream. Typically for Dinner with the Devs, we have our tech producer Mac running everything, and we're super excited about the launch tomorrow. And we're doing Dinner with the Devs on Wednesday, so we just thought we could spend some time really quickly to get our project director for the game, Charlie Amos, to go through some things. Just through restream, something quick and dirty, and we're just figuring out some things right now. We had some new equipment, with everybody moving back into the office. We had to download some things, update some things, so it's taken a little bit of time. So we appreciate your patience. But right now, Charlie, if you want to tell everybody what's going on, if they haven't seen anything from I Expect You to Die 2 just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you an introduction. So I'm Charlie Amos, the project director for I Expect You to Die 2, The Spy and the Liar. And the sequel to the first game picks up where the first one left off. As a warning, there will be small spoilers, things like the beginnings of certain missions. There is no audio, so you won't hear mission briefings. I'll do my best to make sure that the story stays confidential while still showing you some cool aspects of the game. At the end of the first game, you do survive, even though everyone, of course, expected you to die. And you end up with everyone else thinking that you have died. So in I Expect You to Die 2, you are undercover, and this is our surveillance van. They won't let me leave until I get the job done. But from here, we're able to take on missions with more emphasis on the undercover spy fantasy. And in this one, we are tasked with figuring out what Xerxes' next big move is Now that we're gone, they think that they can pull off some big operation. We don't know many details about it, which is why they've sent us into the field to try to put a stop to it. The first mission takes place at the backstage of a theater. So I'm going to get this started, and I'm just going to show you the beginning of it, some of the setting, show you what has changed about the game, what hasn't changed, and I can also take your questions. Dwayne and Adam are here from our marketing and community, and I can take requests, answer your questions.
Yeah, but we won't have Charlie do too many fast movements. We see Restream is having a small issue of piping to YouTube. The restream stream is fine, but whenever it's going through YouTube, there seems to be some complications. So we'll do a lot more of the Q&A and maybe some of the cool mechanics of I Expect You Die 2, Charlie, without moving too fast to create a lag. Oh, thank you, Jeff Bob. I'm not famous, but some people in Pittsburgh seem to know me, so
Nice.
I appreciate that. So Charlie, RBQD asks, how long did it take to make I Expect You Die 2?
Well, let's see. We started the concepting phase for just figuring out what kind of game this would be like. And it was a very small team of only a couple of people brainstorming things, sending surveys out to the whole studio for what they're excited to see next time, reading reviews. That started in the fall, I think like around September of 2019. Then the whole team started to ramp up into 2020. And then, of course, the pandemic really hit right as we were starting to go into alpha production on this level. And we had to figure out how to work from home. We had to get all of our hardware to homes. Many of us did not have workstations ready for any of that. But we found a way to get it to work. We found a way to continue to make our levels. We found a way to play test, which was really challenging. And we worked all through 2020 and, of course, are releasing now in August of 2021. We did finish the game a little while ago and had some of this time for porting, for quality assurance, marketing. And so now the game is ready to go live in stores tomorrow. While I'm waiting for another question, I'm just going to do some stuff. I'm not going to solve any puzzles. I'm just going to mess around.
Yeah, and with the team, I mean, there's been some cool mechanics in the game because it's you are seated, but with telekinesis, with your range of motion, the team's been able to do a lot of really cool things. Like, for example, what really blew me away or got me really excited about what the team has done, which is the rope. Like it seems so weird of just raising the curtain, but I think that's just so cool that you can do in VR, and it still felt so tactile that I really appreciated that. And if you can see Charlie in our studio, he's in one of our bigger conference rooms, the Chamber of the Ages. You could see him actually turning around and pulling the rope, and I think that's really cool. Jeff Bob says, "Wow, you made this game really fast considering COVID."
I like to think so, yeah. Part of what helped that effort was unlike the first game where we made the first level by itself, then we said, all right, let's make this a whole game. We made the first 4 levels. Then later we added a 5th. Then later we added 6 and then 7 quickly in sequence. That meant the game was very episodic. We had our version of Unity got really out of date. We were still working with a lot of old tools. Part of our goal for this game was to make the whole thing all at once. We could plan it all out from the beginning so that each level leads into the next. And I think that also helped make it go a little bit faster. We were able to take our learnings from each level and build them into the next one that we were all building together.
Oh, and like Charlie said, our community marketing specialist, Adam Kuda, is also here.
Hi.
So, Adam, if you want to field some questions as well, I'll
Yeah,
try my best not to talk over you.
You're good. We have a lot of really good questions in the chat. One that I can answer right off the bat, how many levels are there so far? So I expect you to die 2 is going to have 6 levels. And then there's the question asking about free DLC, like in the first game. At this time, we're not planning any. You can actually, I made a really cool video about it, and you can watch our FAQ question or community AMA type video on our YouTube. And there's a bunch of commonly asked questions that you can find all the answers for.
One thing I can speak to on the number of levels as well, and like the lack of levels coming out after it, a lot of that is because of the planning it out as one single game that happens to have multiple missions. But really this time it does tell a singular story. So while, we could have DLC, it wouldn't be a continuation of this single game.
Which I think is really like a cool point. Like you can feel that in the final DLC levels that came out for the first game. Like there were threads of like a sequential story that were there, and that this one just takes that to a whole new level.
Yeah, I was the project director for the last 2 levels, and part of what we wanted to try there, we knew we wanted to end the first game and wanted to find some way to make it make sense and feel like an ending and not just like another mission. So part of the way we did that was by connecting Operation Seed of Power with Operation Death Engine, getting the reel for the Death Engine at the end of that second to last level to try to give like a sense of finale, a sense of completion, and of course like a nice cliffhanger at the end. Part of the success of that is what led to the direction we took for this second game.
Another question I'm seeing a lot is how many ways to die are there in I Expect You to Die 2?
That's a really good question. In the first game, let's take the Operation Friendly Skies, the first level. If you count the number of ways to die, there's the gas outside of the car. There's some self-deaths you can have inside the car that are really your own fault. There's the bomb that can explode, and I think there's a laser that can shoot you. But it's about that. It's like not even a number of deaths that you can count on your hand. However, there's so many different ways to encounter those same deaths. A similar concept is true in the second game. There are many threats in each level and many ways to accidentally trip those threats. So while there's not hundreds of ways to die, there's hundreds and hundreds of ways to get to the same lethal things, whether it's your fault or someone else attacking you with similar instruments. I think unique death cards, those cards that come up that tell you how you died after you die to provide a little bit of a hint, I think we have somewhere in the realm of a couple dozen of those. Here we go. I've made my little floating invisible man here.
Nice.
Oh, there we go. That's pretty good. Wearing a watch, shield, crossbow. Ugh, it's hard to turn around. There we go. Yes. Yeah. Formidable.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe the shield could be his face. Or their face. Their face.
There we go. Like a mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This kind of just like messing around, we find, especially in playtests, especially if you're like caught on a puzzle and aren't really sure what to do, we want to make sure that we support this kind of just like playing around with stuff. So you'll find all of our levels just have a lot of stuff around them to play with. Some of them are just toys, or are they, right? Like maybe it's actually a solution to a puzzle. Maybe it's an alternate solution to a puzzle that you'd have to be extra clever to figure out. Maybe you even get a little reward for figuring that one out. But in many cases, like just food, donuts, things like that are often just there for your fun.
That was a pretty good segue. One of the questions is asking about whether or not souvenirs will return.
Yes, they have returned. There's a couple little extra layers to them as well. And something that we found successful about souvenirs in the first game was that like alternate solve. We've tried to match souvenirs to clever alternate solutions as much as possible. So while they are sometimes some really obscure things to do, because that's pretty fun, um, we tried to also have when a playtester would try something really strange, but they thought it would work and they thought it was really clever. We tried to support that and then reward a souvenir for it. So maybe you will also try things like that. And if not, after you beat a level, maybe you only got 1 or 2 souvenirs just naturally by playing. We do have that souvenir list. I can show you. I'll return to the van. Exit the van. That after a level, you can see the list up here. I won't look at it too much because it has spoilers.
Not too much.
But there's a display up there to show you the names of the souvenirs, and the names provide a hint for the action to unlock it. Oh man. At least I have to say, previewing a VR game like this and not wanting to show you spoilers, I can literally just look away from them. So
Yeah.
try to get one up here. There we go.
Oh, that's funny.
Boop.
So one question. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, Roblox Legend asks, and you went into a little bit about this, but just to make sure we get that point across. So what's the storyline from I Expect You to Die 1 and I Expect You to Die 2? So is there what carries on and what's different?
It's a good question. We did intend them to be in sequence. So the events from the first game all happened relatively recently. This isn't like a big time jump. You are the same agent from the agency, and the handler, the person who gives you your mission instructions, is the same character still in your ear. So while you can have a great time playing the second game with no knowledge of the first, if you have played the first, a lot of the same references and things will carry over. So we tried to have the connection be fun, especially fun if you have played the first, but still you're going to have a great time if you've never played it.
So
any other questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Another question came in about save games, save files.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is definitely something new and exciting for I Expect You to Die 2. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, absolutely. One thing we found with the first game was that people love to show the game or play the game at parties and love to have their friends play through the intro sequence, like just the nice flow into the tutorial. But because there are no save slots or anything like that, you're not able to do it, or you have to like erase your data. Sometimes you've got multiple people in the house who want to play, but they want to start from the beginning. So this time, like our other title, Until You Fall, we have save slots. We support 3, and it will even tell you like your % progress complete, how many souvenirs you've collected, all that kind of stuff, so that you can have those separate accounts. That was important to us this time around. So we do have like a title menu with that feature in it. In fact, I can go and show us. Exit to title.
Yeah, showing would be really cool. We got some praise on the pause screen, so that's really cool.
Nice. Yes. Shout out to Josh Brannon for the elegant, useful VR UI. User interface in VR is still something being figured out, and having it like have that cool factor and that immersive factor while still just being usable and quick is really quite challenging. And I think he did an excellent job. So here we are in the title screen, but of course nothing's a screen in VR, so it is a space at the agency. Their title, save slots, make a new game, delete, and a date and progress here. So in this file, I'm only 38% complete with 7 out of 42 souvenirs collected.
Which answers another question that was going around in chat with how many souvenirs would be in the game. So
yes,
there you are.
And I believe that includes the speed runs. So like in the first game, the speedruns have returned. They are a little different this time. Something that we found is the people who play the game who love speedruns tend to be the the most fast and clever of our agents. And so we really tried to make the speedruns quite challenging this time. Just playing through quickly is not going to be enough. You're going to need to find all of the different ways to cut down your time. And that's likely going to lead to a lot more challenge. So the speedruns really are for those who are looking for pretty serious challenge.
Let's
All right, I'm going to
see.
jump back into my save file.
Yeah, go for it. So we're getting a lot of questions, which is great. Just keep in mind that we do have the dinner with the devs on Wednesday with not just with Charlie, but also the design director, Francisco, and the engineering director, John Kay. And so you'll be able to get a lot more of your questions answered this coming Wednesday at 6 o'clock on YouTube. And there won't be that much or any gameplay, so it'll just be talking heads, and we'll have some showing the videos, maybe a trailer, maybe the opening credits, which I think we got a question about who wrote the intro, so we could talk about that. But all of these are great, but we want to show just some gameplay for people to see how cool the game looks. I know the YouTube stream is a little bit laggy, so our apologies for that. With us, in the studio, out of the studio, we're still trying to find those efficiencies. So our bad on that, but we're super excited of how polished the game looks whenever you're in the headset. It is going to be $24.99 US across all the platforms. So whatever your favorite headset is on, you'll be able to purchase it. I know some people asked about, is it $24.99 everywhere? It will be, the price is localized in Steam according to your country, so I can't tell you what exactly the prices are, but it's Steam has their price localization, and according to what it is in your country, it might be a little bit different. So intro video, so the intro credits, if you don't have to go back to it, Charlie, but if you want to just talk a little bit about who wrote it and why that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun story, actually. So in that early period I was talking about before of coming up with the ideas for the game, the undercover theme, the theme of facade really started to emerge. And I was working with Jared Mason, who is one of our narrative designers here. And he's, he's also a singer and songwriter. And an idea for a melody and lyrics came to his mind. And he just had to let me know. So he came over to my desk while I'm just working, and he just sang me his version of the theme song. And honestly, what we ended up shipping, what Puddles sings, is very close to that first version that Jared serenaded me with at the office. As he iterated on that and started to come up with a version he really liked quite a bit, I think we were having Scrum at the office with the whole team, and Jared came into the conference room where we were all sitting, and he sang it again for the whole team. Very memorable, super fun. So that was just, sometimes you get lucky like that, and inspiration hits someone on the team, and whenever that happens, you just got to seize it. So Jared was instrumental in coming up with just the heart of the song and the lyrics to it, and a lot of the song itself. And then we worked with Bay Area Sound on coming up with the orchestration for it. And of course, we worked with Puddle's Pity Party on the actual singing of it. We wanted a kind of classic Bond feel. And we know he's got that big baritone voice and a ton of personality that he brought to the song. So I'm just so happy with how that came together and how much like fun and inspiration is inside of it. It wasn't engineered. It was, it just came out of the ether.
We're changing subject just a little bit, But here's a really good question that I really liked was, will there be a commentary button?
This time around, there won't be commentary like there was in the first game. Hopefully, we can supply enough of it through things like this, streams and whatnot in the future. But there was a feature we considered adding in. Part of it, what replaces it though, is a tremendous amount of other kinds of sound and music. So something we're really excited about this time that is new in replacing that developer's commentary feature is every level now has a soundtrack. It has music that plays during the level. And depending on the actions you do and the progress you make, that music changes or gets layers added to it. And after you beat each mission on the radio, you unlock the last soundtrack from the level that you played previously.
Oh, that's cool. And there was a question about that, about if the radio changes as you complete missions. So you covered that.
It does. Yep. You unlock new tracks over time. There's also this WZOR on 88.7. And just a word to the wise, you may want to tune into 88.7. Sometimes there's things they say on there that's worth knowing.
I love all of the questions about Flanter. I really, really appreciate those.
Yes, I'm not at liberty to talk about Flanter. I don't believe it's above my pay grade.
Oh man. What do you? Oh, okay. You're jumping into there.
I am. Maybe this is unwise, but I'm doing it anyway. Look away if you're afraid.
Yeah, hey, there is an immediate spoiler if you kind of want to look away. But what was really cool here, I guess, I don't know if we were going to go into detail about this in Dinner with the Devs, so we could talk about it here. How did the team explore more of the movement mechanics? Because we really tried for the first one to limit movement, but then in this level right here, like you have if you want to get your flashlight to look at the hand winch, there's movement in this level. So can you go into like the ideation about what this level was going to look like and how you guys talked about movement here?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we really like about I Expect You to Die is just how accessible it is as a VR title, that it doesn't have locomotion that can make some people VR sick. It's seated. However, we also want to be a fun spy thriller type game, right? And for this mission, we wanted to try to hit that sneaking in spy fantasy. And it's hard to sneak in without some kind of movement. So what we have here is, one of those classic laser tripwire puzzles. And here we are sneaking in from the roof. So it's not a lot of movement. It's pretty safe. As you grab this hand winch, you can push it up to translate up, pull it down to translate down. It's smooth locomotion. There's no acceleration, which can sometimes make people sick. And the moment doesn't last super long, but it is something that spices it up, right? You wouldn't see this in I Expect You to Die 1. This is something new. And it's something we're playing with. We're excited to see what you all think about it. We tested it a lot, tested it with a lot of people who do usually get VR sick. They found that this was just fun. If they wanted to, they could close their eyes while they descend. And it's just one small part of the level, just about that fun of sneaking in, but not meant to be this like large moving around a huge world kind of mechanic.
I think no one has asked this specifically, but it leads to a really cool question about taking feedback from our community and listening to ideas and such. And so just a quick, I have to, but quick plug of our Discord. So please join our Discord server. I'll post a link in the chat, so in the YouTube chat, so you guys can have that link. But definitely join and leave us your feedback and your comments. But yeah, do you want to talk about that, like how feedback from the first game helped form stuff for this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only for the first game, right, the reason the missions are the shape they are and have the content they do is because of integrating in feedback while we're making it, right? The play testing loop of playing it with real players, seeing what they think, seeing what they try with different objects, seeing what kinds of things they try to do to solve puzzles, that affects each one of our levels. We continued that same process into this second one, but even more so, right? We read reviews of the first game. We read, the criticisms and the accolades, all that to try to make sure that we're not losing anything that was good about the first one, but we're making small incremental changes to improve. And then just like adding little bits of features and experiments like this locomotion. Even just this dynamic light that we have here, it was something new to try because we thought it could be fun to have an uncover, on a way to uncover new information that you could get from a dark space with some light. But yeah, I mean, feedback, these games are for you, like we don't want to make something that you're not interested in playing. And so much of what makes these games great is the input that we get from you all.
Oh, thank you for that, Charlie. Fear, yeah. So in the headset, like I said, it looks a lot different than the gameplay. I am going to make some notes about restream into YouTube, but it's much easier to see in headset. So yeah, you're right. It's the YouTube quality. It's not the game. The team tested the site that you're able to see it and see it quite well. So.
Yes, I don't know what you all are seeing, but it looks great in headset. Something that we targeted as well was making sure that it looks great on systems like PSVR and the Quest, just as well as it does on really high-end headsets. We used a lot of different kinds of shader tricks and different methods for making the game look way better than it should on those platforms that usually don't support graphics of high quality. I would say I do think the second game looks substantially better than the first, and I think the first is one of the best visual ports on the Quest system.
And just another note about the game, I think Adam posted it in the chat, but just for reiteration, the game I Expect You to Die 2 goes live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S., so you can use your fancy time zone math to figure out where that goes live in your locations. But yeah, we're super excited about it. And for those who just joined, we're watching the project director of I Expect You to Die 2, Charlie Amos, just play through a couple levels here and there, just show the game, give some commentary about the development of it. We're plugging the Dinner with the Devs on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S., so you can talk to him, the design director and the engineering director. Our community marketing specialist Adam Kuda is also here, and he's doing the live chat moderation now for on YouTube, and then for our YouTube live Dinner with the Devs on Wednesday, he'll be there manning all of your awesome questions.
That's right.
So if there's not too many other questions, and Adam, I know you've been watching the chat closer than I have, so maybe we could take a couple more questions, and then were we going to do the seller or no, Charlie?
Oh, we could, yeah.
So maybe we end with that. Just so get a couple more questions. End with that undercover plot, and we'll take it from there. Eavesdrop. Yeah, I was trying to remember what that was called.
So we have a question about multiplayer and whether or not that would be something we would consider, or why it hasn't been considered yet.
Right.
I don't know if you have an answer for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So as you probably all know, one of our biggest inspirations for the type of game this is the escape room, right? And the escape room is almost always a multiplayer event, right? You go out to a physical place with your buddies, you get locked into a room together, and then most of the puzzles have a format where people should, like this, right, go around the room. They should grab these things. They should look under there. They should touch the knight. They should look behind the boxes. And everyone goes out to grab stuff. And then maybe in the center, they collect all of their data. You go through it all together to try to figure something out. And there's usually like a rush to it, right? You've got a limited amount of time. You want to figure it out as fast as possible. In this game, right, it's a spy fantasy, which is much more solo. But that inspiration of the multiplayer escape room is still there, right? I can definitely picture in the future a group of spies, right? I don't know, what's something like that, kind of like a Mission Impossible thing, or a heist type thing where everybody's got like a role. Monaco comes to mind as something like that. A Monaco style escape room game set in the world of I Expect You to Die. It's a very different game, right? So for this second one, we wanted to expand on what people loved about the first. I think going into multiplayer does fundamentally change the game. It changes the puzzle solving, changes the pacing. And at that point, I don't think we'd want seated in the same way. Maybe in the future, when room scale is more common, maybe when larger physical spaces and like larger games are more common, a multiplayer I Expect You to Die escape room simulation would be one of the coolest things.
I will just quickly again plug the Discord. We often have little puzzles and such that a lot of agents work together on, and a sort of multiplayer experience on the Discord server. So same-ish vein, obviously quite different. But if you are looking for some kind of group solving puzzles based around I Expect You to Die, highly recommend.
Also, what other game can you make a sausage and cheese floating emblem with a little grape hat? And this one? This one's for me. Oh. Only the finest. And then, of course, when you're all done, you just stick your face in it and eat it all up.
That's hilarious.
It's such a shame that it's not coming through on YouTube well.
Yeah. Well, that's something that we'll have to figure out.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to test it as much as we did, so.
I'm gonna get some sweet knives here. This is the Until You Fall inspiration sneaking through. I can't promise that there's an Until You Fall fight scene. I wish I could. Maybe in the future when our spy becomes more of an action spy.
That's right.
But it is still pretty fun. And yes, well, I guess I'd have to prove it. But then all of these knives do work for cutting the sausage and the cheese. Because why not?
Yeah, we'll have to do just another dev stream of just all, like, after this game is out for a couple of weeks, the comeback just to show all the things that you can do in it.
There's quite a little bit. Let's see. I think I can. There we go. Oh, I thought I could do that.
That's really cool.
Ah! I tried to eat it off the end of the knife.
REQD, the name that cover the James Bond movie. Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was hearing game audio.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting some of the scattered thunderstorms that we were promised.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Am I still on stream?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
no,
good.
it's just me. Yeah.
Sweet. Sorry, what was the question, Dwayne?
The question.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I was gonna say it was whether or not the name "I Expect You to Die" came from the James Bond movie Goldfinger.
Yes, definitely one of our core inspirations for the franchise, and of course the fact that we have our death loop in the game. But I will say that this time around we did have more spy references and more spy inspirations, and as time goes on, the agent of I Expect You to Die is starting to develop their own story, their own personality. And as time goes on, I think they're going to get further and further away from those initial inspirations and become a character all of their own.
Oh, snap. A lore drop. There you go.
Yeah. Which leads to another good question that's here. That was, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but what was the inspiration to make the game have more characters that that you can see and interact with? As in the original one, you could only see silhouettes of the guards in Seat of Power.
Really, it was tied to the goal of having more story and a world that's more alive. It's difficult to convey, I don't know, like a great villain and great heroes and allies without more character presence. And we found that in Operation Seat of Power and in Operation Death Engine, you didn't see characters, but the presence of the henchmen in the elevator and Hive Mind, of course, in the elevator, even just through voice and banging on the door, made the world feel riskier and more dangerous, which is totally what we're going for. In this one, we just upped it even further, right? You can see John Juniper go onto stage. He's far away. You can still interact with him. I'm hearing game audio. But that presence, that physical presence, it, especially in VR, it makes you feel like, oh no, stakes just got raised, right? I'm being seen, or there's someone right there. I got to be on my best behavior. So that's a big reason why we added characters, the visual presence, and just more presence. Was it was about story, immersion, and a new kind of fun.
Good deal. People, yes, throughout the stream, people have been asking, how did the spy survive? I will wait for us, for more specifically for you, Francisco, and John to talk about that, or Wednesday's dinner with the devs. So we will make sure that that is a question for the devs to answer on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel. The stream link is already there. A couple people are heading out, and I think we showed everything that we wanted to show. Charlie, was there anything else that you wanted to show while we have you?
Just my sweet knife maneuvers.
There we go.
Backhanded style. They might come in useful later. Never too late. But no, this is just for each of the missions that I've showed, right? I didn't solve any puzzles. A lot of this is just the initial things that you can see and play with when you get in here. And then, of course, you can't hear the audio I'm hearing of the voices, the music, but that's what's really going to pull you in and pull you forward as you start to uncover more things. But even though there's a lot to do just in sitting around the space, each of our spaces, just like the first game, transforms. There's layers of information. There's depth in each one. And we're super excited to see you all play. I can't wait to watch your videos, watch your streams starting tomorrow.
That's
right.
Oh, no! Oh, well, I guess that's perfect.
The timing.
That's perfect timing. So thank you everybody for tuning in, for asking those wonderful questions. We will answer the rest of them at Dinner with the Devs this Wednesday, 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Thank you again for bearing with us with our technical difficulties. Just like Adam said, go to our Discord for I Expect You to Die as well. Sign up for the newsletter for all the exciting developments, sales, whatnot. Adam runs a lot of different challenges and giveaways and sweepstakes and things in the Discord. So don't miss out on that. And most importantly, I Expect You to Die 2 comes out tomorrow. We're super excited. The team did a wonderful job. It's so fun to play. If you have done I Expect You to Die 1, you'll love it. If you've just hearing about the franchise and buying I Expect You to Die 2, it'll make you want to buy 1 to figure out what the how the hype got started in 2016. We look forward to everything that's happening for the next couple of weeks with the game, from content creators streaming, from you guys playing the game and telling us about it. Please don't be strangers. Hopefully we see you on Wednesday. Buy the game tomorrow. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.